Happy Friday. Well, it's March 13th, 2020, and I want to put that because when people watch this later on, I want them to, sort of have a time period of why what I'm about to talk about is going on. It is March 30th, 2020. It is a Friday. I am going home to my house from work, and I will not be back to work for, as of right now, 2 weeks. Because yesterday, for those of you who don't know, I live in Maryland, and yesterday I was watching the news during the press conference, and I watched as our current governor, declared a state of emergency because of the coronavirus outbreak. Said that we're at the highest alert right now, and there is a ban in effect of more than 230 or 250 people gathering in one place at one time. And all schools, effective Monday, will be closed, and people will not be allowed in the building except for essential personnel so that they can deep clean. So sort of a double whammy there. We can't be in school because there would be too many of us in one place, and we can't be in school because every school in Maryland for the next 2 weeks are going to be getting deep cleaned. So I did not want to be an alarmist, but I said to my sister and my mother, maybe we should go and just get a little bit of shopping done. Not because I think the world is ending, but just so that we'll have some essentials. Let's treat this like a snowstorm is coming. I got to Walmart, and the toilet paper aisle was completely cleaned out. It was like crazy, and this woman came out with some more toilet paper on a cart, and she practically had to run away from the cart because people pushed her out of the way, and they were pulling toilet paper off the cart, and they were filling up their shopping. And that's greedy, and that's selfish. We took 2 cases of toilet paper, which is only one more case than we usually take when we buy. And then this breaks my heart. I went down to the baby section, and I was getting a few snacks for Charlie, and I don't know that was necessarily reacting to the coronavirus outbreak, but just I wanted to get him some new snacks to try. And I turn around, because I'm in the baby aisle, I turn around and the formula is cleaned out. I mean, just completely cleaned out. And my heart just broke for people who have to use formula because, they've been using formula from the beginning, or because they've dried up. And I just, it's one thing if moms are stocking up, and I understand that that's a small part of it. But I also think that there's also a part of it that people that don't necessarily need that much formula are buying it so that they can exploit the supply and demand. Because I'm already seeing stuff pop up on social media about selling toilet paper for 2 to 10 times more than it's worth. And I'm pretty sure formula, I mean, let's get gross here for a minute. If you really need to, you can use cloth to wipe yourself. But formula, if you can't breastfeed or you don't breastfeed, your baby needs formula. And that really breaks my heart that people are, ready to exploit that. So the naive, good-hearted person in me wants to believe that most of that formula was cleared out because people got concerned for their babies and stocked up. But there's people out there that's not what they did. They did it so that they could, take advantage of the situation, and that makes me sad. Do I think we're going back in 2 weeks? Well, I mean, that's the interesting thing. I can make a prediction, and 2 weeks from now, if people are watching this, they'll know whether or not Maryland schools went back into session in 2 weeks. If you really want to know personally, if I think we're going to get back in school in 2 weeks, I think that the schools will be cleaned and ready to receive students, but whether or not the coronavirus outbreak has concerned those in government enough that they don't lift the ban for there to be more than 250 people in one place at one time, that's what I think is going to be the telling thing. If the outbreak gets a little bit worse before it gets better, I don't know that we'll be back in school by the end of March. I've heard projections that coronavirus will peak sometime in early to mid-April, and then get better? And if that's the case, then we might still be out. What are we gonna do about, making up the days? I don't know. Are we gonna be able to make up the days? I mean, I remember one time there was a real bad blizzard in Maryland back when I was a kid, and they ended up making us make up the lost time by extending school by a half hour. Some places did make them make up the days, and other places just forgave it. But if we're out for a month or something, what are they gonna do? So we'll see how it goes. I mean, I'm sure there's people sitting in their basement, on top of their stockpiles that they've gathered up, just convinced this is the beginning of the zombie apocalypse. I don't believe that. Is this our bubonic plague? Well, I think we know more about the spread of disease than they did back in the Middle Ages. But I don't know. I mean, I'd like to think that we're just all being a little extra cautious just to make sure that nothing bad happens. But sometimes I get a little freaked out. I start getting caught up in the mass hysteria, and I think, is this going to be our bubonic plague? I don't know. But the end of the story here today is I'm going to be home for at least the next 2 weeks with my boo. Places are shutting down left and right. We won't have anywhere to go, especially if they tell us to stay in our houses and martial law goes into effect. All right, I'm being a little dramatic, but you see where I'm going with this. So I'm going home to my boo, and I'm going to be home with my boo for quite some time, so it's a bittersweet Friday today. All right, stay well, my friends. And, little tip, if the zombie apocalypse breaks out, this is all you really need to know. You don't need to outrun the zombie. You just have to outrun the person running next to you. All right, I'll catch you on the flip side, unless I get caught by a zombie tonight. All right, bye.